Stay tuned. Peace Pacers basketball is coming up. 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 Ball is coming up. Stay tuned. Peace Pacers basketball 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 is coming up.
What's up and welcome to the Herman Athletic Center for the first time in this 2018-2019 William Peace University Pacers basketball season. I'm Darren Vaught, happy to be with you for season number 4 now. Season number 6 of WPU men's basketball as they welcome their first non-conference home opponent in the Washington and Lee Generals non-conference set, as Washington and Lee of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, led by Coach Chris McHugh. He's in his second season at the helm, an 09 WNL grad. The Generals selected to finish 6th in the ODAC preseason poll. Haven't played a game yet except for an exhibition against Radford University in which they lost 75-54. Couple that with William Peace's lone game, an exhibition at UNC Wilmington. That was an 80-52 loss. And the Pacers shot miserably, 24% from the field, and still had a decent showing. At the half, William Peace was within single digits of the Division I CAA foe in that exhibition. So the starting 5 for your William Peace University Pacers will be Smith Gupton, Tyson Sellers, Sam Arnold, Trey McClain, and Trey Bryant. They're in their brand new white uniforms with green and black trim. I think this is the first time they've worn them officially. And jumping it up at center court will be Trey Bryant. The big man had 13 rebounds at UNCW. He's matched up with Curtis Mitchell. Tip won by Washington and Lee. A layup on the other end of the floor, blocked against the backboard and rebounded by Trey Bryant. So a negated first possession for Washington and Lee, as now the Pacers operate from my right to left in the front court to Smith Gupton on the right wing. Back up top, Tyson Sellers runs the offense. He's defended by the much taller Curtis Mitchell. Bounces to the right side. Gupton back up top. Sellers 10 on the shot clock. Left side is McLean. He penetrates against his man. Left-handed layup. And a hard body meets him at the block. That is Roy McMillan, the Raleigh, North Carolina product. A senior for Washington and Lee, has brought a big crowd. He's a Broughton graduate. So a strong contingent, despite the fact that we're here at the Herman Athletic Center, in favor of Washington and Lee. McLean's first free throw bangs off the back of the iron and is no good with 19 minutes, 29 seconds on the clock, and they'll have that adjusted to add about 5 seconds, 19:34. And correction, no additional time, as they were just clarifying that the foul as McLean's second free throw rolls in. 1-0, Peace on the board first. McMillan catches a pass, top of the circle, gives right side to his teammate Mark Lamondola. Now Devin Kearns back up top. Lamondola fires up a three, and it funnels through. McLean had a hand in his face, but it's 3-1 Washington and Lee. McLean receives at the left wing on the other side. Out to Sellers for three from the right wing, and he answers. 4-3, a 1-point William Peace lead. Some quick exchanges as we're 58 seconds through. 19:02 on the clock here in the first, and full court pressure from William Peace. A pass to McMillan breaks it for Washington and Lee. To Lamondola in the corner. He penetrates out to Kearns. Catch and shoot. The three falls in. Nothing but net. 6-4 Washington and Lee ahead by 2 with 18:45 left to play in the first. Kearns defending Gupton, the ball handler. Handoff to McLean on the right side for William Peace. Sellers fakes a pass underneath. Jukes dribbles right, hands off to Sam Arnold, whose three-point shot is way long off the far side of the backboard and boarded by Kearns. Tries to go coast to coast, dumps underneath. Curtis Mitchell goes straight up and locks arms with Trey McLean, so a foul called. That's the first team foul called against William Peace. First personal for McLean. And Mitchell will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 as the clock stops at 18 minutes, 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. Mitchell bangs in the first. Shot 61% from the stripe a season ago and makes it 7-4. In his second year with Washington and Lee, 6'8" tall, as his second attempt too strong off back iron. Lamondola, the board for Washington and Lee, out, and a made three by William Brueggemann, the Houstonian. Sophomore puts 3 more on the board for Washington and Lee. 10-4, 18-10 left in the first. Smith-Gupton rather. Bounce pass to the elbow where he has Trey Bryant. Doesn't put it on the floor, gives back to Gupton. Through his legs, dribbles to the free throw line, puts up the jumper, and it's blocked away and taken by Curtis Mitchell. And a pass in transition intended for Kearns out on the wing, sails into the William Peace bench and out of bounds to give it back to the Pacers. 10-4, Washington and Lee leads with 17 minutes, 52 seconds remaining here in the first half. It'll be Mikhail Gaylord into the contest for William Peace. He and Sam Arnold bring it into the front court. Gaylord, the Durham, North Carolina product, bounces top of the key to Sellers. Back to Gaylord. They swing it from right to left. Sellers, a jab step, but took one step too many before driving to his left. Traveling violation. Turns it over and gives it back to the Generals. Some substitutions for Washington and Lee as Mark Krogan and Alex Starr enter the contest. Starr, a senior, one of 2 team captains for Coach McHugh's bunch. Inbound pass goes to Devin Kearns, and the Pacers lay off of the full court pressure. Sellers his defender. Kearns picks up the dribble, bounces underneath. Brueggemann steps inside the paint, dishes back out from left to right. They go around the perimeter. Generals get it outside, and Starr spins his way into the lane and banks it in for 2. 12-4, 17-15 until the half. Sellers for the Pacers. Drives right side. Kicks to Don Tyrell. 3-point shot attempt off the near side of the rim. Strong board and put back. Successful by Trey Bryant, and it's within 6. 12-6, Generals lead. 17 to play until the break. Kearns with a pass to the top of the key. Faked it outside. Brueggemann back out to Kearns, right wing. No hesitation on the three-point shot attempt. It was off the far side of the backboard, and Bryant went up for the rebound, was not expecting it to fall so suddenly, and it kicks off of his knee and out of bounds, giving it back to Washington and Lee underneath their own basket. An unfortunate missed rebound by Trey Bryant as the clock stops, 16:51. Some deliberation between our officials here at the Herm this afternoon. 12-6 is the score. Washington and Lee with the lead. One foul apiece for each team. And an adjustment of the shot clock. So 21 seconds is what it reads above the Washington and Lee basket. Inbound pass underneath. Cutting. Is it Amendola? He can't get the layup to go, and Bryant reels in the rebound. Right side, John Ingram into the game for the Pacers. Labors his way into the paint, puts up an errant layup attempt, but Bryant there, forcing his way into the mix, grabs it and puts up another shot attempt that's knocked out of bounds. The block is out at the baseline and gives it back to William Peace. The buzzer sounds, and Paul Dunlap will check in favor of Trey Bryant. Gaylord on the inbound from underneath their own basket. Ingram to Tyrell. A couple of first-year players. Backdoor cut. Gaylord was wide open. Not aware, perhaps, of how open he was. Instead, tried to dribble it back out to the perimeter, and it's knocked away out of bounds in front of the Washington and Lee bench, rather. So Gaylord, again, the trigger man for the Pacers. Kearns jumping in front of him. A bounce pass outside the circle to Paul Dunlap, and he hands back to Gaylord to reset the offense. Chest pass to the right to Ingram. No dribble, back to Gaylord. Fakes, drives left, outside. Maurice Kennedy, his first three-point shot attempt is off back iron and rebounded by Washington and Lee. That's Starr on the board. The senior at the top of the circle gives Devin Kearns to the right side now. They go to the wing. Krogan, a bounce underneath. Brueggemann spins on the block. Looked like he shuffled his feet a little bit, but it's knocked away and last touched by Brueggemann at the baseline. So the ball goes back to William Peace University. That brings us under 16 minutes left in the first. 15:53 on the clock. That signals our first media timeout of the afternoon. 12-6, Washington and Lee with the lead over your William Peace University Pacers here at the Herm early. First media timeout of the contest back here on the Pacers Sports Network. The Generals of Washington and Lee University, 12, William Peace 6 in the early going. And some substitutions for the Generals exiting the timeout as Tevin Ponchal of Belmont, California, first-year player for Washington and Lee, checks in for the guys in blue. William Peace with the ball as Mikhail Gaylord enters the front court to run point guard. To the right corner, Dunlap gives it right back to Gaylord, defended by Ponchal. Crosses to his left, drives outside. Tyrell penetrates down the baseline through traffic, banks it in with his left, and brings it within 4. Trey Lewis with it for Washington and Lee. He's on the left wing. Kennedy, his defender, fakes a pass underneath, drives to the left side, gives out to Krogan. Penetration against his man Dunlap off the front side of the rim. Can't get his own rebound, and in fact, he tramples over Maurice Kennedy in an attempt to do so. So the foul will send it back to the other side of the floor. William Peace basketball. With 15-17 left in the first, Kennedy and Ingram check out for the Pacers. Sellers and Gupton back into the contest. Gaylord handling it, crosses the timeline. High circle pass to Dunlap. Gupton up top, Sellers. Pump fake, drives left side and smokes his man Krogan. Easy left-handed layup for Sellers, and he makes it 12-10, so the Pacers within 2. McMillan catches a pass, top of the circle, thinks about 3, puts it on the floor and gives to Krogan on the left side. Ponchal for 3, off the mark, off the back of the iron, and it's batted away out of bounds. Last touched by Washington and Lee, and the basketball goes back to William Peace. 14:43 left in the first, 12-10, a 2-point Generals lead. Gaylord defended by Ponchal. Waves off Dunlap, who was trying to set a screen. They give left side on the wing. Sellers up top. Gupton mishandles it at first, but regains, gives to Sellers. Out to Gaylord, driving left side. Penetrates to the corner. Dunlap for 3, short on the three-point shot attempt, and the rebound pulled in at the baseline by Tyrell, but he had a foot out of bounds. Washington and Lee will retain possession as the clock stops. 14 minutes, 17 seconds left in the first half. And the visiting Generals lead by 2, 12-10. Mitchell and Ponchal in the backcourt to bring it up the floor for Washington and Lee. First home contest of the season for the Pacers. Bounce pass to the left wing. Mitchell gives to McMillan. Pump fake on the 3 on the wing, and he shuffled his feet before driving to the basket. The Raleigh product and senior for Washington and Lee turns it over and gives it back to the Pacers. Just over 14 minutes until the break. Trey Bryant will send it in on the far sideline. Gives to Smith Gupton. As the Pacers start the offense, Gupton defended by Kearns. Bounces to the far corner. Sellers. Hesitation, puts up the 3, and it rattles off the front side of the rim. Rebounded by Kearns, up the floor. McMillan lays it in and is fouled by Sellers. A chance at a three-point play for Washington and Lee as McMillan makes his way immediately to the free throw line. Sellers commits his first personal foul, second team foul on William Peace. McMillan, a 73% free throw shooter a season ago. With the clock at 13:49 here in the first, he bangs it home and completes the three-point play. 15-10, Washington and Lee leads. Upton Smith into the front court. Kearns, his man, dribbling with his right, crosses left. Kearns having none of it, and he hands off to McLean. Pacers have McLean put it on the floor. It's knocked away, but right into the arms of Sellers. Lucky break for the Pacers as the shot clock now at 7 seconds. To the elbow, Bryant pump fakes. Passes outside to McLean. It's stolen away after being batted by Lamendola, and a layup on the other end. Left-handed, banks in perfectly with McLean hitting the floor. No whistle, and the ball falling in for 2. So 17-10 is the score, and a quick whistle on the other end as a foul called on Washington and Lee. That was called against Lamendola. A little aggressive on the inbound pass. So they'll clear out and make way for the Pacers to bring the ball up the floor with 13 minutes, 12 seconds until half. 17-10, Generals lead in a tough road environment, but they've brought a lot of fans themselves. Gupton dribbles right, hands to Sellers for the Pacers. Looking for a pass underneath, bounces it down into the corner as Bryant dribbles back outside the circle, gives to Smith Gupton. Thinks about a three, but he's defended by the 6'8 Mitchell. Pass underneath on the block. Bryant pump fakes, has his layup swatted away. It's Roy McMillan and reeled in by the Generals. Now from the corner, Brueggemann. Three-point shot attempt is far. Mitchell boards it, but it's stolen away by Smith Gupton. On the other end, Sellers tries the underhanded pass to Bryant, and it's taken away by the Generals. McMillan to Kearns in the corner. Three-point shot off the back of the iron, and Smith Gupton comes away with the rebound long at the three-point line to Arnold at the top of the circle. Cutting is Sellers. He catches it strong on the layup attempt. Brueggemann with the rebound, and here come the Generals. He switches hands and lays it in with his left. 19-10, 12:09 to play in the first half, and the Generals with the lead here at William Peace. Smith Gupton with a hard chest pass to Trey McLean on the right side. They swing it back left. It's in the hands of Trey Bryant. McLean now, a high screen from Bryant, driving on Mitchell. Bumped and laid in with his left. He draws the foul against the much taller Curtis Mitchell. And Trey McLean will have a chance at a three-point play of his own, but that will have to wait until after the media timeout. 11 minutes, 51 seconds remaining. We're at the under 12, and Washington and Lee leads by 7, 19-12. Here at William Peace University on the Pacers Sports Network. (19-12) your score. Washington and Lee ahead by 7 here in Raleigh in the first home contest of the season for the William Peace men's basketball team. Trey McLean with a chance at a three-point play as he was bumped on the layup attempt and put it in softly with his left as Curtis Mitchell committed the foul for Washington and Lee. Mitchell checks out of the contest, exiting the media timeout, by the way, as McLean gets the free throw to rattle in and make it 19-13. Devin Kearns quickly makes his way up the floor for Washington and Lee. Forces up a layup attempt. Bryant sails over his teammate McLean in an attempt to grab the rebound. Seems to be okay, and William Peace has possession. Gaylord through his legs. Dishes to Gupton on the right side. Tyrell back to Gaylord on the right wing. Jab step and drives left side. Out to Smith Gupton for three. It falls through. Three-point game, 19-16. Generals with the lead and bringing it up the floor. Devin Kearns picks up at the left wing. Catch and shoot at the top of the circle. The pass to Roy McMillan. It bounces off the near side of the rim. Boarded by McLean. Gaylord on the other side of the floor will draw the foul as McMillan had his feet planted, but the shifty Gaylord made a deceptive move and drew contact as McMillan checks out. And as a matter of fact, it looks like that foul is going to be called on another Washington and Lee player. It'll be William Brueggemann, his first personal, 15 foul on the Generals. Pacers get the inbound pass to Maurice Kennedy. Top of the circle, fires up a three, and it rattles out, boarded by Krogan. of the Generals. He quickly gets the outlet pass to Kearns. Picks up his dribble on the other side inside the circle. It's batted away by Don Tyrell, and then he's bodied up as he was trying to bat the ball forward. I think he's lost a contact lens now, as it will be William Peace ball. That's the 6th team foul on Washington and Lee with 10 minutes, 39 seconds until half, as it's charged against the senior Alex Starr. Point guard Mikhail Gaylord has found the contact lens. Stands to reason he is, technically speaking, the closest to the floor. And we'll clean off the floor. Hopefully Tyrell gets that reset in his eye. For the time being, he'll check out. John Ingram in his place. 10 minutes, 39 seconds until half. Pacers trail by 3. Kennedy with the inbound pass, and Gaylord brings it forward. He's defended by Kearns. Chest pass to Kennedy on the left side. They go Ingram on the left wing. Up top, McLean wide open for the 3. Hesitated, pump fakes, and draws very aggressive defense from Kevin Denon, who charges into McLean for the foul. It'll now be 1-1, as that's team foul number 7 on the Generals. First personal against Denon. And Trey McLean, who's 1 for 1 from the stripe, heads back for another chance. 19-16, McLean composes himself, fires it up, and it's through. And the Pacers are within 2. He'll get a second chance, as it's 19-17. McLean's second of 2 now. Bangs off the front side of the rim, batted away toward the corner and reeled in by Kearns, so the rebound goes to the Generals. Kearns pulls up just inside the three-point line on the other end. It's short off the front side of the rim. Rebound attempt by Krogan is swatted out of bounds at the baseline, and thus it will be William Peace ball. Brueggemann checks out, and the Pacers bring it forward. Gaylord against Kearns, goes left side to McLean. High screen set by Bryant. Bounced to the right side. Ingram jabs and then drives to his left, but lost his footing, and a traveling violation gives it back to Washington and Lee. 10:04 to play until the break, 19-17. This one slowed down a lot since those first few minutes, as the grinding halt has stopped scoring for the time being. Generals whipping it around the perimeter. They go to the right block. Krogan holding the ball high, finally puts it on the floor and gives outside. Starr with the shot attempt, rims out, and no good. Rebounded by Trey Bryant. That's his 5th of the game. He gets the outlet to Gaylord. And on the other end of the floor, Gaylord with some contact met inside the three-point line. Try to pass toward the corner, and it sails out of bounds to go back to the Generals with 9 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half. 19-17, Washington and Lee with the lead. McMillan and Kearns switch possession as they bring it up the floor. Hand off to Starr, then to Lamendola, who drives strongly on the right side, nearly blocked by Bryant, but he laid it in off the top of the glass. 21-17. 9:23 until the break as Ingram dribbles through his legs twice, pulls up from the elbow. It's off the front of the rim. Ingram gets his own board but falls to the ground. He's scrambling and calls the timeout as he's on his knees in the paint. Pacers get the call and will take a 30-second break. Clock stops, 9 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first half. 21-17 is the Washington and Lee lead. But a lot of time for the Pacers to take advantage of the foul situation. Washington and Lee with 7 team fouls, as the Pacers have committed only 2. So already in the bonus, William Peace would be shooting any time the Generals commit a foul from here on out, at least for the next 10 minutes or so. 9 minutes, 15 seconds to be exact. Gaylord will toss it in underneath the basket for the Pacers, exiting the timeout. He goes to the right wing. One-handed catch by Bryant. Hands off to Sellers. Jab step, drives against his man Mitchell, and the layup rolls just off the front of the rim. Trey Bryant came soaring in from the free throw line and commits the foul in an attempt to board the basketball. So that slows things down. 9:07 left until the break. Bryant's first personal foul, third team foul on the Pacers. Kearns dribbles through his legs at the left wing. Up to the top of the circle, gives to McMillan in the corner, whose three-point shot attempt is too strong, no good. And the rebound goes down to Gaylord. Here come the Pacers. High screen from Arnold. Gaylord crosses left, then right. One-handed pass out to Bryant for three on the left wing. He was wide open, but it's too strong off the far side of the rim. Rebounded by the Generals, but stolen by Sellers, and the pass in for an easy layup to Sam Arnold. 21-19, 8.5 minutes to play. Here come the Generals, and a pass to a cutting Kearns, an easy right-handed layup. Separates it by 4 once more, 23-19. Gaylord dribbling, working his way underneath the basket, tosses it up, the up and under with his right. It's knocked away out of bounds on a rebound attempt. Last touched by William Peace. Kearns checks out, Ponchal back in to run point guard for the Generals with 8:15 until the half. They lead it 23-19. Ponchal, the freshman from California, guarded by Gaylord, gives to Mitchell. Now Alex Starr has it at the top of the circle. Underneath, a Euro step in the lane. And the floater laid in by Trey Lewis. His first basket of the contest makes it 25-19. Under 8 to play. Sam Arnold scrambles for a pass that was batted away, but catches it for the Pacers. 16 on the shot clock as it's cleared to Gaylord to reset the offense. He goes right side. Upton Smith drives right by Ponchal. Can't get the layup to fall. It's right into the two arms of Bryant. Follow-up sails over the rim, and Arnold reels it in, but shared possession will force a jump ball. And the possession arrow lies with William Peace University. So they'll toss it in underneath their own basket. Don Tyrell back into the contest. But another whistle to signal the media timeout as we're under 8 minutes to play in half number one. 7:33 left until the break. 25-19. Washington and Lee with the lead over your William Peace University Pacers here at the Herm. Washington and Lee comes to Raleigh. They lead it by 6 in the early goings, about 7.5 minutes until halftime. As the Generals, who put a stomping on the Pacers a season ago, to put it lightly, in Lexington, Virginia. That was on December 6th. It was 100-73 in favor of the Generals. They actually set a program record with 18 three-pointers made in that contest. This one a little less score-happy. 7.5 minutes, low count on the shot clock, and Sellers receives the inbound pass and cannot get the three-point shot off. Turning it over back to the Generals with a 5-second runoff. 7:28 the clock reads. 25-19, Generals still ahead. Ponchal and Mitchell bring it up the floor. Mitchell catches a pass top of the circle, goes Alex Starr on the right wing. Back around, Ponchal fakes a spin to his right, drives left, gives top of the circle to Roy McMillan. He nearly has it smacked away by Mikhail Gaylord. Up top they go to Mitchell, driving left side, back to the basket, outward. The three-point shot attempt rims out and is last touched by Sellers. He scrambles to the corner to reel it in and keep it from going out of play. So Gaylord now with it for the Pacers. Drives left side, out to Tyrell. The three-pointer is short, batted away by a very hustling play by Tyrell and into the hands of Smith-Gupton. Sellers tries to make something work with it on the ground. Loses his handle. It's stolen by the Generals and passed up the floor to McMillan, who is met with contact underneath the basket. It's ruled that it was a layup attempt, so he'll get a couple of free throws on the foul by Mikhail Gaylord. His first personal, fourth team for William Peace, with 6:39 left until half. McMillan's first of two is up and in. 26-19 the score reads. Ponchal and Lewis check out for the Generals in favor of Kearns and Brueggemann. Second free throw attempt from McMillan. Rips the bottom of the net. Mentioned over 70% free throw shooter for his career. 73% at the line last season as he was third team all Old Dominion Athletic Conference. 27-19. Gaylord with it, jabs and drives left side for the Pacers from the left wing. It's off the far side of the rim. Krogan comes down with it for the Generals. Outlet pass to Kearns. Makes his way into the front court. One-handed pass to Starr, top of the circle. Puts up the three, and it's off the right side of the rim, bouncing out of bounds, but a whistle blown. I believe it'll be a foul called underneath the basket. And it's against Krogan. So the ball goes back to William Peace. A little aggressive, a little early on the box out. And now we'll walk it all the way to the other side of the floor because that means free throws for the Pacers. Donnelly Tyrell, the first-year player for William Peace, will go to the free throw line to shoot 1 and 1. It's Krogan's second personal foul, 8th team foul on the Generals. 6:12 to play in the first half as Tyrell's first free throw bangs through. 27-20. Krogan checks out with a couple of fouls. Tyrell now 3 for 5 from the stripe in his Pacers career, make it 4 for 6 as he hits both and reels it within 6. 27-21, just over 6 to play until half. Kearns for the Generals, dribbles through his legs, gives to Brueggemann on the left wing, bumping and grinding his way through the lane. He lays it in with his right and makes it 29-21. Under 6 to play until the half. Gaylord into the front court for the Pacers. Give left-hand side to McLean. Lost his footing in the lane, but able to get a pass out to Tyrell. He has it knocked away by Alex Starr. Starr with it now after the pass forward by Washington and Lee. Top of the circle. Brueggemann, catch and shoot three. Nothing but net. 32-21, 5.5 until the break. Generals with their largest lead of the day. And the Pacers working it around the perimeter. Maurice Kennedy catches a pass from Tyrell, drives from the left wing, and banks it in for 2, bringing it within single digits, 32-23. 5:11 until the half. Brueggemann trailing, catches and shoots from the top of the circle. That time the three-pointer misses. McLean with the rebound all the way from coast to coast. Euro steps inside and then back out on the layup attempt with his right and banks it in softly with 5:01 to play in the first half. That reels it within 7. 32-25. Trey McLean with an aggressive play following the rebound. A 30-second timeout called on the floor. And the pace starting to pick back up here at the Herman Athletic Center. Used to a very up-tempo game. as the mantra for Claude Shields' bunch has been let it fly for pretty much all 6 seasons in existence. Missing a couple of key shooters from the team are the Pacers. Camden Ferguson has a broken hand or broken finger that needed surgery a couple of weeks ago. He's recovering from that. Timetable looks to be about mid-December, late December for his return. But I spoke with him before the game today. He says he's been doing some conditioning nonetheless, with assistant coach Kevin Anzenberger doing some left-handed ball handling drills. Staying in shape, so hopefully when he comes back, he doesn't miss a beat. Generals exiting the timeout. We're under 5 to play. Kearns dribbles to the left side, finds the seam along the baseline and able to bank it in for an easy 2. 34-25, 9-point Generals lead. Tyrell hands to Gaylord to reset the offense for the Pacers. Back to Tyrell, thinks about a 3, and Gaylord regains it. Top of the circle, picks up his dribble to Tyrell, left corner, 3-point shot attempt short. Trey Bryant reels in his 7th rebound of the day and aggressively banks it in on the putback. 34-27. Washington and Lee ahead, 4:20 to play and ticking here in the first half. Kearns nowhere to go with it, so he pulls up a 3-point attempt and airballs it on the other side of the floor. It sails out of bounds at the baseline to give it back to the Pacers. Stopping the clock at 4:16 here in the first half. Tyrell and Gaylord bring it up the floor and across the timeline. Gaylord against Kearns. Fakes a handoff on the right wing. Drives right side. Bounces underneath from block to Tyrell. His shot's swatted away. Tyrell regains it. Goes outside to Kennedy. 3-point shot attempt off the right side of the rim. Bryant reels in the board. And shared possession on jump ball gives it back to the Generals. But if that is in fact counted as the rebound in favor of Trey Bryant, that's already his 8th. He had 13 in the exhibition at UNC Wilmington. Media timeout called. So the teams will huddle up at their respective benches. Trey Bryant in that UNC Wilmington exhibition was tasked with going to Trask Coliseum, the home venue of the Division I Seahawks of UNC Wilmington. And Bryant, for most of that contest, was matched up against a guy named Devontae Kaycock. And if you're not familiar with Kaycock, he's a UNCW senior this year. And for the past 2 seasons, he has led all of Division I players in rebounding. Last season, about 13.5 boards per game. Well, Bryant went in, blocked a shot of Kaycock's, and even went pound for pound with him in the rebounds battle because they each had 13. So Bryant really showed a lot of grittiness in that contest as he now has 8 rebounds in the first half here against Washington and Lee. Not a great day so far shooting for Bryant, 2 of 7 from the field, including the rare opportunity at a wide open 3 that he had earlier. But 8 rebounds in 11 minutes played is about as good as it gets for a post player. And if you can do that at a consistent level, that's going to help out this Pacers bunch for much of the season. 3 minutes, 54 seconds remain. That was our last media timeout of the first half. Full court pressure on for the Pacers. McMillan gets a pass floating it high to Kearns. He reels it in and is able to walk it up the floor for the Generals. Bounces to the left elbow. Mitchell fakes a pass underneath, back up top to Kearns. Pump fake, he's defended by McLean. They swing it around. Lewis floats a pass to the left block. Mitchell now triple teamed and is eventually fouled as he tried to bring the ball up high. Mikal Gaylord was way underneath there and hooked his arm. And in fact, the call is instead going to be called against Maurice Kennedy. So Kennedy commits his first personal. Gaylord checks out. That's the 15th foul for William Peace. And in comes Tyson Sellers back into the game for William Peace. Kearns on the inbound pass, floats up the alley-oop, and it's slammed home by McMillan. My, what an inbound play drawn up by Washington and Lee, 36-27. The Raleigh native had this crowd on its feet. Knocked away and stolen by the Generals on the other end. Of course, it's McMillan with it in his hands. Pass underneath, Mitchell's pass. Stolen by McLean. Here come the Pacers. A handoff on the left wing. Gupton out to Sellers. Bangs home on the three to reel it within 6. 36-30, under 3 minutes left until the half. On the left block, McMillan fading away. It rims out. And a two-handed board by Sellers. He quickly moves it up the floor. Gupton dribbles behind his back, has it knocked away, and it's stolen by Mitchell. Another break for the Generals. Kearns bodies his defender, an offensive foul. Washington and Lee turns it over with 2:39 until the half, 36-30. They lead it by 6. That's the 9th team foul on the Generals. The offensive foul by Kearns, his first personal. And it gives it back to the Pacers. Bryant on the inbound pass in the backcourt. Full court pressure. Sellers blows by his defender, Trey Lewis. Jumps at the lane and gives out to Trey Bryant. A whistle blown as Bryant picks up his dribble at the top of the circle. And pointed the other direction. It looks like we're going to have a correction with the clock as it ran down to 2:33 before stopping after the latest whistle. Generals 36, Pacers 30 as we approach halftime here at the Herman Athletic Center. And Coach Claude Shields trying to figure out where his team is going to be inbounding the pass. The officials not sure of an answer. Shields says baseline or sideline. Finally gets an answer so he knows what to draw up. And just in front of the Washington and Lee bench, Smith Gupton will be the trigger man for the Pacers. As I have not yet seen a correction to the clock. 2:33 still the overall time remaining. Shot clock reads 14 seconds. And Coach Shields getting an explanation. So some chatter between the officials and Coach Shields, amongst themselves without Coach Shields. And it looks as if now we might be ready to resume play. A couple of players checking in for the Generals at midcourt. As Carlins Jones, the junior, enters for the first time today. Lewis and Lamondola exit. Gupton gets the inbound pass toward midcourt to Trey Bryant as the shot clock had reset. So 18 seconds it reads. Gupton inside to Bryant, back out to Gupton. Three-point shot attempt just barely grazes the front of the rim. Both teammates trying to rebound it in Tyrell and Ingram as it's out of bounds, last touched by one of the two, maybe both. Either way, it's Washington and Lee ball with 2:20 left in the first half. Ponchal receives it and is defended by Smith Gupton. He enters the front court, dribbling with his left. Right-handed pass as the Generals swing it around. Brueggemann drives from the right wing, softly lays it up with his left over the outstretched arms of the help defender Sellers, and it falls through for two. 38-30, under 2 minutes until the break. Pacers now with it. Bryant in the corner, gives back up top to Gupton. Chest pass to the top of the circle. Sellers into the circle. Bryant, pump fake, outside. Ingram's three rattles in, his first points of the day. He didn't play in the exhibition against UNCW, so those technically his first points as a Pacer. 38-33, the lead is 5. Mitchell's three from the top of the circle, bangs off the front of the rim. Sellers with the board in stride and is fouled in the lane. That's team foul number 10 on the Generals. So 2 shots coming up for Tyson Sellers. 1:27 seconds left in the first half. Kearns and McMillan seated at midcourt, ready to check back in for the Generals, who lead at 38-33 as Sellers steps up to the stripe. His first is up and falls through nothing but net. Sellers, the leading returning scorer for the Pacers from a year ago. Sam Arnold checks in as it's within 4, 38-34. Second falls through for Sellers, who averaged 12 points per game a season ago and shot 85% from the stripe. So you know he's good for those. 3-point game. Kearns loses his handle and it's stolen away. Gupton regains it in the backcourt for the Pacers. They come away with it with just over a minute until the half. Chance to tie it up if they want to take a three. Bryant at the top of the circle, hands to Ingram, cross from right to left, nearly lost his handle, but gives to Gupton. Thought about a three on the left wing, dribbles right side instead, pump fake, puts up the floater, can't get the bank to fall, and it's reeled in by Brueggemann. Quick outlet pass, Kearns pushes it up the floor, McMillan has it thrown ahead of him. The bounce pass was just a little too far, and McMillan slid after it, falling out of bounds to give it back to William Peace as the clock stops at 45.4 seconds until halftime. 38-35. An exciting one that has been led by Washington and Lee wire to wire, really, except for when it was 1-0 in favor of the Pacers. But it's been tight this whole time. Some chippy play, a lot of sloppy ball handling, but good hands on defense to play a factor with that on both sides. Gaylord across the timeline against Kearns. Gets a handoff from McLean on the right wing. Driving from the right wing. Dribbles behind his back on the step back and gives out to McLean. 15 on the shot clock. Play clock down to 25 seconds. Bounce to the top of the elbow. Bryant drives and tried his hand at a dunk, but he's met with contact on his way up. Misses the shot, but went up with a lot of intensity and is instead going to have a couple of free throws with 22.5 seconds left in the first half, and the Pacers trailing by 3. 38-35 is the score. No signal as to who that foul was called on. There were a couple of generals that went up with Bryant. There it is, Brueggemann commits his second foul, does the sophomore. It's team foul number 11 on the Generals. Bryant's first free throw is up and in, nothing but net. That's a good sign. He was 0 for 4 from the stripe in Wilmington a couple of days ago. But he reels it within 2 there. Second bangs in. 1-point game, 38-37. 20 seconds on the clock. Shot clock turned off for the Generals. Kearns stops his dribble at the right wing, gives up top. They go left side. Brueggemann, check that. No, it's right side to Kearns after the fake pass. 7 on the clock. 5 seconds remaining. Brueggemann catches, crosses, spins into the lane, passes out to the corner. Buzzer beater up, and McMillan can't get the corner 3 to fall. It rims in and out as time expires in our first half of action. A 1-point ball game, 38-37. The visiting Generals of Washington and Lee lead it here at the Herman Athletic Center. Stay with us for what will be a tight, exciting game for the remainder in the second half here at the Herm. The first bit of action for men's basketball here at William Peace University this season. The women dropped a tough one to a very good Bridgewater team yesterday in their home opener, but both teams looking to have big seasons here for the Pacers. Darren Vaught with you on the Pacers Sports Network. It's halftime. Washington and Lee up by 1 on your Pacers, 38-37.
Stay tuned. Peace Pacers basketball is coming up. 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 Stay tuned. Peace Pacers basketball is coming up.
Halftime at the Herm, 38-37. Washington and Lee up by 1. Through the first 20, Darren Vaught with you on the Pacers Sports Network. Home game number 1, but broadcast number 2. Thanks to those of you who joined me as I trekked to Wilmington to call the exhibition against UNCW at Trask Coliseum. Actually, the first road contest I've called for a William Peace team, with the exception of, I guess there was that one, a playoff game at North Carolina Wesleyan not long ago. 1 point lead for the Generals, visiting from Lexington, Virginia, of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. In a game here at the Herm that really picked up its pace toward the end of that first half of action. Chippy for much of the first half, but a slightly larger lead for Washington and Lee, as now we'll switch directions. And Washington and Lee will shoot at the basket to my left from my vantage point here on press row. Pacers inbound it to Smith Gupton, now operating from my left to right. Gupton picks up his dribble, goes top of the circle to Sam Arnold. Passed right. Lamondola defending Tyson Sellers, puts up an arm bar and commits a quick foul to get us started in the second half.
Hey, let's get one.
And the Pacers will toss it in front of their own bench. Gupton, the trigger man. 19:47 remaining in the game. 38-37, Washington and Lee, a 1 point lead. Gupton bounces it top of the circle to Sellers. His pass inside, blocked away and batted right back to him. Sellers recovers, 12 on the shot clock. It's defended by Lamendola. Picks up, thinks about a three from the top of the circle, gives left side, and Smith-Gupton bangs it in. Pacers with their first lead since it was 1-0. Lead at 40-38. McMillan for Washington and Lee. Fakes right, drives left, hands to Lamendola. Now to Mitchell, top of the circle. Kearns, pump fake, then goes with the three, off back iron, and Trey Bryant right into his arms, the easiest of his 9 rebounds so far. McMillan for the Pacers into the front court, back up top. Bryant, hands. Gupton again for three, this time off the front side of the rim, and boarded by Washington and Lee into the hands of Mitchell. Lamendola swings up top. McMillan hands to Kearns, dribbles through his legs against McLean. Goes left side, and the three-point shot attempt quickly put up by Lamendola. Off the mark and rebounded by Sam Arnold, so the Pacers will slow things down as Smith-Gupton dribbles to the left wing, gets a high screen from Trey Bryant. Looking underneath, nothing there, and has to give to Arnold to bail himself out. Back to Gupton's underneath, right block. Bryant, pump fake, gets his man in the air. Shot is no good, but it's on the floor, and there's a scramble for it. Arnold and Bryant both with their backs on the ground for the Pacers. Ended up in shared possession between McMillan of the Generals and Arnold of the Pacers. So the possession arrow goes back to Washington and Lee. And Curtis Mitchell will trigger it in at the baseline. 18:21 left. 40-38, Pacers lead. Inbound pass nearly knocked away by Tyson Sellers. Some incidental contact as Kearns brought it in the backcourt, and a foul called from the other side of the floor. Sellers charged with the personal for sweeping the leg. Almost tripped Kearns, but he kept his footing. Sellers, his second personal foul. First team foul of the second half for the Pacers. McMillan pump fakes, drives right side, dishes to the left corner where Kearns airballs the three, and it's right into the arms of Trey Bryant. He has 10 rebounds already. We just started the second half. McLean to Sellers in the corner. Three-point shot attempt too strong. It skips over the rim and is rebounded by McMillan, who's going to try to go all the way coast to coast himself. Met by contact on the other side in the paint as Trey Bryant set his feet. And a blocking charge, or blocking call rather, against Bryant on the shot attempt. So a couple of free throws for Roy McMillan, who hammered down the tail end of an alley-oop inbound pass toward the end of the first half that really got the Washington and Lee contingent on their feet. His first free throw rattles in to make it 40-39. Second of two up and is in nothing but net. 73% free throw shooter. Roy McMillan now 5 for 5 from the stripe today. Ties it at 40. Sellers for the Pacers. Bounces it underneath. Sneaky backdoor cut by Sam Arnold. And he's met in the paint as he received the pass and went to go up toward the basket. Foul called and a couple of free throws for Sam Arnold with 17:40 to play. It's charged to Lamendola. That's his third personal. So he'll probably check out as Arnold's first free throw rattles in and then out dramatically. Lamendola checks out for Washington and Lee between shots. Alex Starr, the senior captain, re-enters the contest for Washington and Lee. Tail end of Arnold's two. Nothing but net. 41-40, Pacers lead. Inbound pass stolen away. Sellers step back for three. It rims out. Bryant with the rebound offensively and banks it in for two. Pacers crowd on its feet as a whistle blown. Officials timeout. We're going to clean up a wet spot underneath the basket, but Trey Bryant, the offensive board, and the putback following the steal on the inbound pass. 43-40. William Peace leads, and now full court pressure will be applied as it's Bryant on the inbounder McMillan, Sellers on Kearns. They're the only four players in the backcourt. Bounced to Kearns. And now Sellers is going to ride him all the way into the backcourt. Kearns through, batted away by Sellers, and Bryant a little aggressive trying to get the fast break after a steal. Reaches in and commits the foul before falling to the ground. A little bit frustrated, but also a smirk out of Trey Bryant as he commits his third personal foul and checks out of the contest. It stops the clock, 17 minutes, 24 seconds left in the second half of play. 3-point Pacers lead in their first game here at the Herm this season. That's Bryant's third, team third of the second half for the Pacers. Starr right here in front of press row. Not able to get an inbound pass in, and timeout called by Washington and Lee. Sam Arnold was right there, causing havoc and forcing the timeout. 17:24 left in the second half, and a lot of William Peace University momentum. 43-40, they lead it by 3. Some intensity, a fired up Coach Claude Shields, forcing that timeout, clapping his hands, yelling emphatically, "Let's go." Surprised he hasn't lost his jacket yet. I see assistant coach Kevin Anzenberger has. As the Pacers came out with a head of steam to start this second half this afternoon. Trying to get their first win of the season here in Coach Shields' 6th season at the helm, just the 6th season of men's basketball here at William Peace University. The inbound pass will be triggered in by Starr right here in front of the scorer's table. Defended by Arnold again, tries an overhead pass, has to resort to Kearns all the way back in the backcourt against Sellers. Chest pass to the right wing. McMillan catches and fires. Beautiful jumper for 3, and that ties us up. 17-10 to play. Sellers on the right wing against Starr. His pass up top, batted away by McMillan. Euro step into the lane, and he banks it in with his right from the left side as he was against Sam Arnold, and gives the Generals another 2-point lead, 45-43, under 17 to play. Gaylord, chest pass to the right wing. Tyson Sellers for the Pacers, dribbles through his legs, goes to Gaylord. Mismatch with Curtis Mitchell against him. Gaylord drives left side and floats it over the 6'8" post player. 45-45. 16:30 to play. McMillan catches top of the circle, pump fake and drives, and draws contact at the circle. It is Paul Dunlap who tried to take the charge but was in a little bit too far, favoring his lower back now as he gets to his feet. And McMillan will take a couple of free throws. He's 5 for 5 from the stripe so far. 45 all, make it 46-45, a 1-point lead for Washington and Lee as McMillan's first falls through the hoop. He now has 13 points. And the Generals lead by 1. Tail end, rattles in. McMillan, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Inbound pass, and Sam Arnold wasn't quite ready for the pass back from Gaylord. It bounces off his shoulder. He commits the foul. And I don't think the shot counted. It was laid in, but no shot, as it just goes back to Washington and Lee. For Sam Arnold, that's his first personal. He'll be substituted by John Ingram. 5th team foul for the Pacers. Kearns on the inbound pass underneath the Generals' own basket. Floats it up top to McMillan. Right side, Krogan. Hands to Starr. Driving with his left. Spins right. Puts it off the backboard, but no, off the near side of the rim. And rebounded by McLean. Here come the Pacers. Dribbling with his left against Starr. Kicks to the left corner. Gaylord. The floater in the lane off the near side of the rim and boarded by McMillan as he went up high to get it and gives the outlet pass to Kearns. With the left on the other end, Kearns lays it in for two. 49-45 as we're under 16 minutes to play. So the next stoppage will be the media timeout. Gaylord breaks the press, gets into the front court, and knocks it in off of Trey Lewis's leg. It goes out of bounds at the far sideline. It'll be Pacers ball. It should be a media timeout as we're now under 16 to play, and that will be the case after that whistle. 15:52 left on the clock here in the second half. Washington and Lee 49, William Peace 45. We've got an exciting one here at the Herm. Under 16 minutes to play here at the Herm. 15:52 on the clock. A 4-point Washington and Lee lead over the hosting Pacers of William Peace University. Darren Vaught with you here on the Pacers Sports Network. Inbound pass for William Peace on the far sideline. Squeezed by Mikhail Gaylord in the backcourt against Kearns. He crosses right, then left, gives to Ingram on the left wing. Spin move in the lane, fading backward. It rims in and out, batted up against the backboard. And the rebound eventually goes down to Don Tyrell, but his putback attempt knocked away, foul called against Roy McMillan. Donnelly Tyrell for the Pacers will go to the free throw line to shoot two as Washington and Lee leads by 4. 15 and a half to play. What has been an exciting one so far. That's on McMillan. The foul is called. Tyrell's first free throw drops in. And a correction with the call. It's Krogan. So McMillan did not commit the foul. The call was against Krogan. That makes it his third personal. Second team foul for Washington and Lee, and they're getting clarification as to who the foul was on. And this might get corrected. It is. So it was Roy McMillan. I think it was indisputable, really, that it was Roy McMillan's foul. So instead of being Krogan's third, and the free throw from Tyrell misses, boarded over on the right side by Bryant, out to Gaylord for three, and it rattles out, rebounded in the far corner by Trey Lewis. So back to the Generals the ball goes. Lewis drives right side, kicks out to Starr on the right wing. Back up top, Kearns to McMillan, jab step right, a little bit of hesitation, dribbles into the lane. Back out to Lewis, penetrates, out to Kearns. Shifts and drives with his right. Can't get the finger roll to fall. McMillan ends up with it on the rebound, and from the left side banks it in for two. (51-46) now the score as McMillan gets another basket, and we're under 15 to play. Sellers thinks about a pull-up from the right wing. Pass to the left side from Gaylord, stolen away by Kearns. In transition, one-on-one, he banks it in with his right, 53-46, a 7-point Generals lead. Gaylord quickly up the floor, gives underneath to Trey Bryant. And on the layup attempt, Bryant remains on the floor behind the basket. He was rewarded the foul call and will get a couple of free throws. Coach McHugh of Washington and Lee pleading that Bryant took an extra step and should have been called for a travel. Instead, it'll be 2 free throws. So the call has been corrected, as that last foul on Washington and Lee was McMillan, his second personal. And now Krogan, with this latest foul, has 3 personal fouls, so all good. Bryant's first free throw falls through. He appears to be okay. Both McMillan and Krogan check out for the Generals. 14:25 to play and a 6-point game. Bryant with the tail end of 2 free throws. Washington and Lee ahead 53-47. Bryant puts it in. It's good, though he's favoring his upper right leg a bit as the ball comes back around the floor. Lewis up top of the elbow to Mitchell. Backdoor cut, and Lewis lays it in for 2. Beautifully executed play to make it 55-48, a 7-point advantage for the Generals. Gaylord for the Pacers. Bounces left side. Gupton with 12 on the shot clock gives back to Gaylord. Crosses from left to right. Now to Sellers. Catch and shoot 3. He falls down and airballs it short. Bryant's putback attempt after the rebound, no good. And it's boarded by Alex Starr. Under 14 minutes left. Generals lead it by 7. Starr picks up his dribble. Centers things up to Kearns, and they go to Mitchell on the left wing. Bounce pass underneath. Brueggemann back to the basket. Spins against Gaylord, but he commits a traveling violation as he shuffled his feet. Not somewhere he's accustomed to playing. It proved to be an odd visual, as Mitchell was the one feeding Brueggemann underneath the basket. Mitchell 6 feet 8 inches tall. You would think would be on the receiving end of a pass like that with his back to the basket. Ball goes back to the Pacers, inbound to McLean, back to Smith-Gupton, then McLean. Numbers in transition. McLean goes to the corner. Back up top, Sellers drives right. McLean, step back, 3-point shot attempt off the near side of the rim. Maurice Kennedy with the rebound, though, offensively for the Pacers. Back to McLean, they float it left corner. Out to the wing. Kennedy's 3. Off the mark, off the backside of the iron, and rebounded by Kearns. With 13:05 to play, Kearns makes his way into the paint on the other end. Good defense. Forces a miss by Tyson Sellers. He gets the board. Up the floor to Gupton. 3-point shot attempt off the near side of the rim. Kearns now with it. 1 against 3. Navigates his way into the lane and misses the layup. A whistle. And a foul called against Washington and Lee. It's charged against Curtis Mitchell. And we'll go the other direction. Mitchell's third team foul called against Washington and Lee. And it stops the clock. 12:49 to play in the second half. 55-48 advantage for the visiting Generals. Gupton into the front court, directing traffic against Ponchal. Gives to McLean on the right wing, who drives and has his layup attempt knocked away. The block by Curtis Mitchell sends it out of bounds to be the Pacers basketball once more. Gupton on the inbound, floats it out to the top of the offense for Trey McLean. High screen, Trey Bryant. Man-to-man switch, so now McLean puts up the 3 against Mitchell, and it's off the front side of the rim. Ponchal had the rebound, but it's off his foot and out of bounds at the Pacers bench, giving it back to William Peace with 12:24 to play. They trail by 7. Inbound pass goes to Bryant. Handoff to Smith-Gupton through his legs against Ponchal. Driving left side. Again, it's knocked away, this time by McMillan. Bryant hit the floor hard in the rebound attempt. The Generals with it on the other side. Brueggemann's 3 from the right corner, skips over the cylinder and rebounded by Smith-Gupton. Bryant back up to his feet on the other side. McLean driving right, fouled by Curtis Mitchell. Check that, no whistle, but Bryant there to follow after the rebound and lays it in for two, 55-50, a 5-point Washington and Lee lead. Things have gotten very physical with not many calls underneath the basket. 3-point shot attempt misses for Washington and Lee. McLean with the rebound. Under 12 minutes to play. Next stoppage will be a media timeout. Sellers, a little shake and bake, dribbles behind his back. Elects to pass it back out to Trey McLean, though. Smith-Gupton against Brueggemann. Goes to the elbow. Bryant, handoff. Sellers for three. It rolls in and out, and the rebound pulled in by Kevin Denon of the Generals. He gets the outlet pass to Brueggemann. 11-12 to play. 55-50, Ponchal, catch, shoot the three from the left wing, falls through. His first make of the day, and it's 58-50, Washington and Lee leads. Bryant catches a pass in the front court, breaking the Washington and Lee press. Kennedy from the right corner, drives, pump fake, his pass intercepted. Brueggemann forward to Ponchal, left-handed layup is banked in for 5 consecutive points for him. And it's a 10-point Washington and Lee lead. Aggressive on the steal in the backcourt, though. He fouls Smith-Gupton. And the play stops for media timeout and the Ponchal foul. His second personal, 4th team foul on Washington and Lee. We're under 12 at 10:45 to play, to be exact. Media timeout here at the Herm. A 60-50 advantage for the Generals visiting from Washington and Lee University. We're at the under 12 media timeout here at the Herman Athletic Center on the campus of William Peace University in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. Non-conference men's basketball action. Washington and Lee, the Generals, visiting from Lexington, Virginia, to face your William Peace University Pacers in their first home game of the season. First official regular season game of the season. And they trail by 10. 60-50 is our score. Generals lead it with 10 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in what has been a scrappy game. It's gotten a bit physical here as of late. Inbound pass for the Pacers from Sam Arnold, caught by Mikhail Gaylord, who will run point. Crosses his man and makes his way into the front court. Bounce pass to Sellers on the right wing. Now down to the block. Don Tyrell with the pump fake and banks it in for two. 60-52. Generals lead by 8. 10.5 minutes to play. Bounce pass underneath the basket. Kicked away by Mikhail Gaylord. And it'll give it back to the Generals. Lamondola will trigger in the inbound pass just beside the Washington and Lee bench. Goes to the backcourt where Devin Kearns reels it in and will reset the O against Ingram. Bounces it to the top of the key. Krogan back to Kearns. High pick, set. Kearns drives left side. Bank shot, no good. Off the front side of the rim, rebounded by Gaylord, and here come the Pacers. Outlet to the far sideline. Sellers, one-handed pass up top. Tyrell gives to Gaylord. Crossover dribble inside the three-point line. One-handed pass to the left corner. Ingram, pump fake. Gets his man in the air and can't get the 15-footer to fall. It rattles in and out. Boarded by Washington and Lee. Lamondola catches it on the left wing. Out. Kearns wide open for three. Too strong off back of the iron. And the long rebound pulled in by the Generals. New shot clock with 9:40 to play. They lead by 8. Kearns against Sellers. Chest pass to the left. McMillan. Defended by Ingram. Step back. Thought about a 3. Now it's stolen away. The pass by Gaylord. Taking it himself with his left. Too strong on the layup attempt. And it's pulled in by Denon of Washington and Lee. Behind the back dribble for McMillan in the front court. Can't get the finger roll layup with his left to fall. Sam Arnold brings it in, and the Pacers now have it once more. Gaylord from the left wing. Drives right side. Bodied as the ball is knocked away, and Coach Shields is furious that there wasn't a foul called there. Kearns on the other side of the floor for Washington and Lee. Dishes to Denon in the corner. 3-point missed. And the Pacers with it in transition. So Gaylord bounces to a cutting Sam Arnold, and an offensive foul called against the Pacers. Head coach Claude Shields loses his jacket, and a technical foul issued. A lot of contact and not many calls going the Pacers' way underneath that particular basket here in the second half, and that is obviously where Coach Shields takes issue. 8 minutes, 51 seconds remaining. Washington and Lee ahead 60-52, and now Roy McMillan will be sent to the free throw lines all by his lonesome on the left side of the floor. McMillan 21 points so far. Gets the free throw to roll in. His first of 2. So make it 22 points for him and a 9-point Generals lead, 61-52. His second hits the front side of the rim, and he gets in a friendly roll. 23 points for the Raleigh native in what is a bit of a homecoming to open his Generals season. Back to a double-digit lead for Washington and Lee, 62-52. Of course, after the technical foul, it'll be Generals ball. So McMillan on the inbound pass gives to Lamondola. And as he catches the pass in the backcourt, he's fouled by Smith-Gupton. 8th team foul against the Pacers. Gupton's first personal. So Lamondola will go to the free throw line to shoot a sequence of 1-1 with 8:49 to play. Lamondola's first trip to the free throw line this afternoon. The first-year player got the start for the Generals, and his first one misses badly, just barely grazed the rim on the left side, rebounded by the Pacers. Sellers handling in front of Lamondola, drives right side, nearly lost his handle, but gets a bounce pass out to Bryant, who hands to Smith-Gupton. Now down on the block, and Bryant receives a pass. A whistle blown. That time it's called against Tevin Ponchal of the Generals. Team foul number 7 as the scoreboard reads. Ponchal's third personal, and 1-1 for Trey Bryant at the free throw line. He's 4 for 4 from the stripe so far. Tonight, make it 5. Ripped to the bottom of the net there. He has certainly bounced back from the poor shooting at UNC Wilmington last Friday. He was 0 for 4 from the free throw line despite playing a very physical game with one of the top Division I post players in the country in Devontae Kaycock. 62-53, 9-point lead for Washington and Lee. Bryant's second grazes the front of the rim and falls downward, boarded by McMillan. Washington and Lee has it. Ponchal sprints into the front court against Gupton. It's a pass to Mitchell, top of the circle, high screen as he hands to Lewis, and an offensive foul. Mitchell moving on the screen attempt. Gives it back to the Pacers. Still within single digits, far sideline. Bryant goes forward to Sellers in the front court, who sprints into the paint and lays it up, but no good. A lot of contact underneath the basket as Trey Bryant hits the floor and comes up chirping. Bryant is, in fact, charged with the foul. We'll walk it over to the other side of the floor for Washington and Lee to shoot 1-1. 62-53, the Generals lead. 8 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the second half. That's Bryant's fourth. He's going to have to exit. McMillan will shoot 1-1 already with 23 points, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. His first off the front of the rim, his first miss of the night, rebounded by Sellers. 8 minutes to play. Kennedy on the right wing for the Pacers. Goes to Gupton on the left side. Against Lewis, dribbles, passes to the right wing. Sellers drives, puts up the layup attempt, and is fouled hard by Roy McMillan. But Sellers will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. And it is against McMillan. Couple of free throws on the way for Tyson Sellers and the William Peace University Pacers. But that'll be after the under 8 media timeout. 7:56 to play here at the Herm. It's Washington and Lee 62, William Peace 53. Under 8 minutes left here at William Peace University. 7:56 as the clock reads. 62-53, Washington and Lee visiting and leading by 9. So following Roy McMillan's third personal foul and the 9th team foul for Washington and Lee, Tyson Sellers steps up to the free throw line for the Pacers to shoot 2. His first drops in nothing but net to reel it within 8. As Sellers remains perfect from the stripe tonight, or this afternoon rather. He's 3 for 3. An 85% shooter from the line last season. As the second dribbles through as well. Half-court trap by the Pacers. Passed by Kearns to the top of the key. Mitchell underneath. Starr lays it in and is fouled. Perfect execution offensively for the Generals to escape that half-court trap tried for the first time by the Pacers. That makes it a 9-point game, and Starr with a chance to make it 10. 7:49 to play. Fouled underneath, and a stoppage in the action as it looks like Sam Arnold is bleeding a little bit at his right knee. Perhaps just a floor burn. He wears the compression, the longer compression shorts that go over his knee, so I'm not exactly sure how that would have happened without those shorts riding up at some point. He will seek attention at the Pacers bench. Quickly, they'll wrap that up. Ten team fouls now. That makes it on William Peace. So 2 free throws for the Washington and Lee Generals anytime they commit a foul from here onward. 9 team fouls for W&L, so everybody will be in the double bonus from here on out. Alex Starr, the free throw shooter, senior, team captain, along with Devin Kearns. Shooting 1 of 1 and drills it. 65-55, 10-point lead for Washington and Lee. 7:45 left. Gupton into the front court for William Peace. One dribble at top of the circle. Gives left side. Sellers. Pass batted away but reeled in at the baseline by McLean. And William Peace bailed out with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets another chance. Gupton, left wing. Sellers. Double teamed. A zone defense now by Washington and Lee. 2-3. 3 on the shot clock. Pass to the baseline. Arnold mishandles it. And the shot clock runs out. And Coach Shields pleading that maybe it was a jump ball first. That is not, in fact, the case. Shot clock violation, turns it over to Washington and Lee, but William Peace calls a timeout as the clock stops at 7:18 left in the second half of play. 65-55, Washington and Lee with the lead here at the Herm. Full court pressure being applied, exiting the timeout by William Peace. Brueggemann on the inbound pass. Has Tyrell in front of him. Tried to bounce it into Starr, and it's knocked away out of bounds. Last touched by Trey McLean of the Pacers. He thought maybe he knocked it off of Starr, but instead it'll be Washington and Lee ball. Inbound pass floated to the corner, stolen by Tyson Sellers. That's his second steal on an inbound pass. His layup is far above the rim, but a one-handed tip in by Trey Bryant makes it an 8-point game. Layup attempt on the other end. Brueggemann has it knocked away in midair, and it's last touched by the Pacers out of bounds at the baseline with 7:04 to play. Generals ahead 65-57. Trey Lewis out. Roy McMillan back into the game. The Generals' leading scorer so far with 23 points. Inbound pass goes to the left corner. Alex Starr gives to McMillan. Thinks about the three, but well covered by Gupton. Back to Starr, driving right side. Whistle blown and a foul called. Layup attempt will be negated. And it's a push called against Tyson Sellers of the Pacers. Either way, it's 2 free throws because that's team foul number 11 on William Peace. Third personal for Sellers. And Starr goes to the free throw line to shoot 2. 79% shooter both last season and for his career as his first rattles in to make it 66-57. Sellers checks out. Enter Mikhail Gaylord. Who's asked to adjust the tie around his hair in order to keep it off of his wrist. Starr's second of 2. Rolls in, making it a 10-point game. Lamendola checks in for the Generals. Out comes Brueggemann. Under 7 to play. Pacers trail by 10. Gaylord enters the front court against Kearns. Crosses right, bounces it to the elbow where Trey Bryant puts it on the floor. Back to the right corner. Gaylord had a look from 3, instead drives, bounces it underneath. Tyrell banks it in from the left side. 67-59, an 8-point game with 6.5 to play. Generals bringing it up the floor. Cross from right to left. Penetration on the left side, and Kearns made that look easy. Lays it in for 2. And it's again a 10-point game, 69-59 with 6:15 to go. Don Tyrell, hands to Gaylord. He'll run the offense. Chest pass to the left side. Gupton thinks about a 3, dribbles inside the perimeter. Handoff back up top to McLean. and a whistle blown, foul called off the ball. Gaylord fires up a three anyway. It won't count. But a couple of free throws on the way for somebody in a white uniform. It'll be Trey Bryant. Foul called against Lamendola. That's his fourth personal. Team foul number 10 on Washington and Lee as the clock stops at exactly 6 minutes left in the second half. Bryant's first of two. Rips the bottom of the net. As he's now 6 of 7 from the stripe. Very efficient. And he recorded a double-double, ensured a double-double long ago as the second of two falls in as well, making it 69-61. Now 15 points, 15 rebounds for Trey Bryant on the afternoon. Kearns dishes up, top of the circle, catch and shoot, McMillan three. Anytime the Pacers do anything, that guy has an answer. 72-61, he has 26 points. 5:35 to play. Pacers with it on the left wing. Gaylord bounces to the left wing. Outside now, Gupton for three from the right wing. It drops in, nothing but net. 72-64. 8-point deficit for the Pacers. Spinning in the lane, taken away from Kearns. McLean comes up with the steal. Pacers in transition, left wing, three for Gupton. Off the backside of the iron, and a holding foul called finally against Alex Starr. From the right block, he had one of Mikal Gaylord's arms the whole way. As the ball bounced off the back of the rim and away from the two of them, Gaylord had clear position. And the foul call will give the point guard of Durham, North Carolina, a couple of free throws. 5:10 left to play. 72-64 your score. Gaylord's first of two falls through nothing but net and in to reel it within 7. Starr checks out after committing his second personal foul. Gaylord's second on the way shortly. He was an 81% shooter from the stripe last season, and it rattles out. 1 for 2 in that trip. 7-point lead for the Generals. Kearns brings it up the floor. Bounces to McMillan. Pump fake from the left wing. Spins in the lane. Can't get the floater to go. And a pass bounces off of a William Peace foot. Last touched by the Pacers. Unfortunate bounce as it goes back to the Generals underneath their own basket. Kearns on the inbound. Floats it up. Again, the oop to McMillan. This time he tried to lay it in, and it's off back of the rim and rebounded by Trey Bryant. So the Pacers have it. McLean dribbles inside the three-point line. Piece of his shot gotten by McMillan, I believe. It was partially blocked. And back to the Generals with 4:35 to play. Kearns from the wing. Up top, the 6'8" Curtis Mitchell for three. It sits on the rim and falls out softly. Rebounded by Trey Bryant. He has 17 boards. That ties a school record. Stolen away by Kearns. Generals now pushing it up the floor. Brueggemann with the pass underneath to Mitchell. It's knocked away and stolen by Bryant. He's fouled by Brueggemann. The blocking call is Brueggemann's third personal, and Trey Bryant will go all the way to the other end of the floor to shoot a couple of free throws. And I'll look to confirm. By my count, like I said, that is his 17th rebound, and if that is the case, it ties a single-game program record. It's 2 free throws for him right now, though, as there are 4 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock here in the second half. 72-65. Washington and Lee with the lead. Bryant 6 of 7 from the stripe so far tonight. And a stoppage in play, a few substitutions sitting at midcourt. Sam Arnold and Maurice Kennedy for the Pacers. Krogan sitting courtside for Washington and Lee. All set to re-enter the contest following Bryant's first free throw as he gets his left hand taped up. That was quick. He had a cut in between two of his fingers. So Bryant, after a quick visit to the sideline, steps up to the free throw line. 4:15 left to play, 72-65. Trying to cut into this Washington and Lee lead. He hits his first. Kennedy grabs McClain. Krogan grabs Mitchell. Sam Arnold still sits at midcourt, presumably to check in for the shooter, Trey Bryant. As the score goes to 72-66 in favor of Washington and Lee. Bryant spins the ball on his fingers. Nothing but net on the second attempt. 2 for 2 in that trip. He's made 8 of 10 from the free throw line and is having a career day. 5-point lead for the visiting Washington and Lee Generals, who bring it up the floor. Kearns on the left wing, gives to McMillan, thinks about a three, couldn't get Sellers in the air, but a backdoor cut by Brueggemann. He can't hit the layup. Rebound goes down to Krogan in the corner. It's knocked away and stolen by Gupton, but his foot just barely out of bounds to give it back to the Generals with 3:56 to play. And under 4 minutes, that'll be the media timeout, our final of the day. A 5-point Generals lead in what has been an up-and-down, dynamic, exciting game to open up our season here at the Herman Athletic Center. 3:56 to go, 72-67, Washington and Lee with the lead over the Pacers. .356 to play in the second half here at the Herm. Darren Vaught with you on the Pacers Sports Network. It's a 5-point deficit for your William Peace University Pacers, 72-67. Following up on a note from just a bit earlier, confirmed Trey Bryant, 17 rebounds in this game. That ties a single-game record for program history. As the inbound pass for Washington and Lee goes into Devin Kearns. Bryant not currently in the game for William Peace. Pass to the right wing. Trey Lewis gives McMillan from the top of the circle. Too strong on the three-point shot. Kennedy reels in the strong rebound for the Pacers and gets a quick outlet pass to the near sideline to Smith Gupton. Handed at the right wing to Tyson Sellers.
Good, down and guard.
Back to Gupton. Drives baseline. Pulls up from 10. And it's off the front side of the rim. Brueggemann there for the board. And the Washington and Lee basketball. Kearns picks up, goes to Brueggemann. Fakes the three, spins in the lane, out to Krogan. Biting on the pump fake is Sam Arnold. Back out to Brueggemann. And his foot was on the line. He drilled it, but it's just a two. 74-67 in favor of Washington and Lee. Gupton dribbling on the right wing. Goes up top to Gaylord. They swing it back to the right side. Sellers with a crossover. Blows by his man. Can't get the layup to fall. Gaylord there on the follow with two hands. Inbound goes to Kearns, 74-69 now the count. Kearns tries to take it coast to coast. It rolls off the front side of the rim, but the rebound and a two is Roy McMillan. 76-69, 7-point lead. Kennedy gives right side. Gupton to the corner now. Sam Arnold up top. Sellers, a hard first step to his right. Dishes out. Arnold's three. Rattles in and out. McMillan there for the rebound. And Washington and Lee basketball. 2:10 to play. Coach McHugh yelling poise, poise as Trey Lewis drives left side and puts up the layup attempt, but an offensive foul off of the ball committed by Krogan. And that gives it back to William Peace with 2:08 to play. Krogan, his fourth personal. He'll exit. Curtis Mitchell back in. Lamendola back in for Washington and Lee as well as Trey Lewis has a seat. 2 minutes, 8 seconds on the clock, 76-69. A 7-point Washington and Lee lead as the Pacers bring it up the floor. It's Gaylord and Tyrell. Gaylord handling, dribbles to his right, had a high screen from Sellers, gives to Sellers. Top of the circle, bounce pass, or a lofted pass underneath rather, behind the defense to Trey Bryant, and he dumps it in for two. 76-71, that reels it within 5. A timeout called by the Pacers. With under 2 minutes to play, 1:54 on the clock, the Pacers are within 5 here at the Herm. Set for an exciting finish here at the Herman Athletic Center. Washington and Lee 76, William Peace 71. A minute 54 remaining. WNL on the inbound pass has McMillan clearing it to Kearns. He crosses the timeline, defended by Gaylord. Bounce pass, knocked away. Sellers with the steal in the front court, lost his handle, and it's taken by Lamendola. Lofted up the floor. McMillan lays it in for two with his right. 78-71. A minute and a half to go. Sellers driving on the other side. Can't control the ball, and it's stolen away again. Washington and Lee with it. Lamendola hands to Brueggemann. Out of control, but drives right side and draws the foul. Charged to Mikhail Gaylord. His second personal. Both teams in the double bonus by this point, so it doesn't matter whether it was on the shot or on the floor. For what it's worth, Brueggemann not in the act of shooting. He'll get 2 free throws anyway. His first free throws of the night. 9 points. He bangs home the first to give himself double figures. Just the third Generals player to amass 10 points or more in this contest. 79-71, the second of 2 for Brueggemann is up and rattles in. 80-71, a 9-point Generals lead, 1:20 to play. Bryant, the inbound pass to Mikhail Gaylord. High screen for Gaylord as he hands to Gupton on the wing. Penetration out to the left corner. Tyrell for 3. Yes, 80-74, that brings it within 6. McMillan handling for the Generals. Under 60 seconds to play. Hands to Kearns. One dribble and gives to Lamendola on the left wing. His man, McLean, switches at the handoff and immediately fouls Roy McMillan, who will go to the free throw line to shoot 2, where he has been dangerous all night. 9 of 10 from the stripe. Not the guy you want going to the free throw line today as the clock stops at 49.7. And the scoreboard reads 80-74. McMillan's first is up and in. 27 points for him and a 7-point Washington and Lee lead. The second of 2. quickly up and off the right side of the rim, falls through. 82-74. A game-high 28 points for the Raleigh product. Gupton for the Pacers. Hands to Gaylord on the left wing. 37 on the clock. Shot clock down to 17. Gupton fires a long three. Misses long. It's batted away outside the three-point line. Reeled in by McLean. Another distance attempt by Gupton misses. Rebounded by the Generals. And Kearns heaved one with one hand all the way down the floor. He thought McMillan was going to make a run for a fast break dunk. Instead, it sails out of bounds and gives it back to the Pacers. Shot clock off, 24 seconds left in the game. 8-point disadvantage. McLean in the corner. Dribbles through traffic, has it swatted away by Mitchell. Tyrell on the board, and the putback attempt rolls off the front side of the rim. A whistle blown. Trey Bryant hits the floor. Bryant was fouled by Mitchell and will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Clock stops at 16.1 seconds. Still an 8-point game. Bryant, like McMillan, 9 of 10 from the stripe entering this set of two. Too strong on the first. It's off the backside of the rim and no good. Count remains 82-74. Just Bryant's second miss of the afternoon. His second free throw funnels through and makes it a 7-point game. 82-75, 15.7 on the clock. And a wet spot at the baseline being cleaned up as Washington and Lee try to inbound it. McMillan will be the inbound man for Washington and Lee. Full court pressure, of course, applied with 16.1 as the clock is corrected by 1 second. 16 seconds left. McMillan gets it to Lamondola, back to McMillan. And Tyrell forced to foul. That'll send Roy McMillan to the free throw line all the way on the other side of the floor. He has 28. This actually gives him a chance for a 30-point game in his hometown of Raleigh, North Carolina. Third team All-ODAC a season ago, led the team in blocks, believe it or not. That's not necessarily his forte, as his first of two hits off the front side of the rim. He's now 11 of 13, and a time in between free throws called by Claude Shields and the William Peace University Pacers. 82-75 the score with 11 seconds remaining here at the Herman Athletic Center. Exiting the timeout, second of two free throws on the way from Roy McMillan. And coming out of the huddle, McMillan steps up and buries the second. 83-75, 11 seconds to play. Inbound pass goes to Gaylord of the Pacers. It's stolen away at the left wing. He tried to hand it off to Smith Gupton. Lamondola comes away with it and immediately is fouled with 5 seconds left. And everything from here on out just a formality for Washington and Lee, as Lamendola goes to the free throw line for just the second time today. He's 0 for 1 at the stripe so far, 3 of 5 from the field. 7 points on the afternoon. His first is up and in, so give him 8. As it's an 84-75 game, that rise in the crowd for Roy McMillan, who checks out. Krogan re-enters. McMillan finishes the day with 27 points. 29 points for McMillan. As the second free throw falls, 10-point the lead. Gaylord fires up a desperate 3 at the end. No good. And the buzzer sounds as the clock hits 0. 85-75 is your final. Washington and Lee, an impressive effort to open up their regular season. William Peace impressive in many ways, unable to get the win. They lose by 10, 85-75, your final score in what was eventually, anyway, for much of the first half, kind of a grinded out, slow-paced game. But then the second half, it really picked up in intensity and tempo, as both teams played very physically and with a lot of emotion, so no secret. 85-75, the final score, a 10-point victory for Washington and Lee here on the road at the Herman Athletic Center.